Carl and Dan here, reaction time, as we're checking out a song by Make Them Suffer, a band I'm aware of, but I can't be confident that I've heard much by them, and certainly not aware if I've heard of this song, which is Erase Me. This is your suggestion. Explain why.
It's got some interesting elements. You've got as soon as we get in, you're going to hear it and be like, huh, that's not what I was expecting, just from that first frame.
Right, because I mean, yeah, you're right. I'm making from the first frame. I'm making it's making an impression, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'd stick to that. Like, because I'm not. I've listened to enough rock and metal to not sort of go well. They're dressed in black. They're in a warehouse. He's right at the front, which means we're about to kick straight into something with metalcore, hardcore, that kind of thing. Edge.
They are a metalcore band, definitely.
Well,
from Australia as well.
Of course they are. And the reason why I make that presumption is because you're recommending it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where the presumption comes. But I am interested. I'm interested because I know this band are pretty substantial size-wise, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They've definitely, the newer album definitely brought them to newer heights.
I mean, this video has 2.7 million views and it's what, a year old? That speaks volumes, I think. And it's the Australian metal scene is fantastic. It's probably second to the UK one in my opinion, overall. But the reason why I put Australia second is because I find a lot of Australian bands, up and comers, are still weighted towards one specific sound. Although there are great rock bands, there are great black metal bands in that scene. They're not quite as prominent as a lot of the progressive metalcore, that sort of thing that is at the front and center, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. Right, let's do this. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Yeah.
Keyboards at the start, but it's coming. Loving that in the background, right in the back. I fucking love metalcore. It's so good on it. I think the drummer might be the hidden talent in this band. Some kick stuff he's doing brilliantly.
He's beating them drums like they owe him money.
Did he just blur as well? Blur. Don't think this bit's... does that make it worth it because that's so good? In loving memory of Crystal Fankhauser. Okay. Do you know who that is? No. Okay. Oh God, I've got to try and put this into words that aren't just going to get people angry when they hear I say something negative, because I want to say first straight away, I really, really like that. There are times where I loved it. Absolutely loved it. There were so many things great about that. You know, I was so into it at the start. You know where it lost me? Here, do you know what I didn't? Well, I'll tell you what I didn't like. And then I'll tell you where it kind of lost me, but it's weird because what came after was so good and you wouldn't have had that without. So I didn't love the chorus, if I'm honest.
Okay.
I didn't love the chorus. I thought the chorus was okay. I mean, she has a fantastic voice. I'd really like to hear that across less of the melody and hear that voice across some hard-hitting riffs. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we got near the end there where it was a bit of a combination like that. But the chorus I thought was a little bit bland, if I'm honest. A little bit like, oh, okay. I wasn't in love with that. And that was the first time it came in. I was like,
no, because you had an audible, damn.
It was the second one. It was the second one that made me go, shit, I don't like it. I don't really like the chorus. It's not really doing much for me. Whereas the build up to it, the fucking heaviness, all of that, loving it. There's some great singing, loving the melody. Yeah, I really like the melody in the track. It was when it was just alone in the chorus that I found, like I said, I found myself just not as invested as I was previously. And I was like, let me listen to the vocals because that's kind of what I want to focus on here. Like I said, great singing, great voice, and there's some power behind it too. Then when we got to the last part where it drops completely into that sort of very quiet singing, and it's that very almost silence to a degree. There is some melody, there's some there, that kind of thing. That's where I was like, oh no, because that went on a little bit too long for my liking. And it was kind of like as well, oh guys, we've already done 2 melodic choruses and now we've got this as well. Now I knew it was going to come back up and like build into kind of a big deal, but I was like, oh, when it comes back, it's just going to be straight back into the boom. We're going to be jumping around and headbanging and all that. It was saved by the fact that it didn't go back to that. It came back to this kind of group singing and still weighted towards the melodic side of things, which is why I'm going to forget. I'm more than happy about that part now, having that drop into that silence and the melody and the lone vocals and stuff like that, because what came afterwards was so bloody good. But it's only so good because we had that bit before, if that makes sense, you know? So I'm like, that's cool. I can live with that. I hate sounding like all I'm doing is saying this song was shit. That's not the case. I thought that song was great, but it just wasn't great all the way through for me. You know?
Okay. Yeah. You're allowed to have your opinions.
Of course. I just, it's proper left me feeling a bit,
yeah.
Because I wanted to love it all.
Yeah. And you know the comments are not going to be nice now.
I mean, if you're jumping in the comments, go fuck you, dude, or whatever like that. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to my words. Do you know? Listen to my words. I think there's so much great. I think both vocalists are brilliant, immense, really good. And when they're singing together, give me that and put that straight into my veins. That is some excellent music. I talked about the drummer during it. There's some that might be like I said during it, the hidden talent there. Because he's smashing the shit out of them. There's some great kick work going on there. It's not that it's buried or anything like that, but because there's quite a bit going on throughout the track, I don't know how easy it is to focus on it, and that's what I ended up trying to do. But I don't want to take anything away from the guitarists as well, guitars and bass. There was some great work on there. You can listen to those great riffs. It is catchy. It's memorable. Like, I can kind of see that coming on again, and you know what that song hopefully needs for me? Couple more listens, and then I'll be able to appreciate perhaps the chorus a little bit more because I'll be paying attention to other elements instead of just the melody of the keys and stuff like that, you know?
I think they're brilliant songwriters, and that's what to take away from it. If the melody wasn't for you, that's fine. It's not for everyone. At the end of the day, I still think it doesn't take away from the fact they are great songwriters.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it was a very well structured, very well told song as well. There's a level of sophistication to that track that almost betrays their unknown status. Not unknown status because they're known, but do you know what I mean? Like, if people like me who aren't that aware, it's kind of like, well, why aren't you? Because there's a level of sophistication in that you should be able to pay attention to as well. And I just want to reiterate, I really like the melody. I really do. It's just when we got to the chorus that didn't quite work as well for me. I loved it. I said to you at the start when the track was playing, I loved what I was hearing in the background. I would love that stuff that's layered in there. And it's like, I love melody in rock and metal. I love it. There's so many bands. In fact, it's probably leans to more, my taste more than anything else. We all want a bit of savagery every so often. But I also, really, really want to be able to hear layers,
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do think it was a great track, a very good track. It's just certain parts just didn't quite work as well for me.
Okay.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?